Good morning. I wanted to take a little bit and talk about this ongoing situation with Taiwan. There is a lot of information coming out this morning, and I mean it is coming out hard and fast. This does look to be something that we want to keep our eye on. We never want to freak out. We never want to panic, okay? But we better kind of keep a close eye on this. I'm not going by just fear mongering. I'm not going by just countries or nations barking at one another. No, there's much, much more to this to really put upon you the importance of the situation. So let me go ahead and take you on over to the browser here, and as you probably already heard a half a dozen times or more this morning, Pelosi is going to visit Taiwan. So as this says here, and I will share, I've got 5 links that I'll be sharing below in the description. So if you want to look at these articles or share them out, the links will be in the description. This first one here confirms Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. It says here, CNN has confirmed from sources both in the U.S. and in Taiwan that U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to visit the self-governed island this week, despite objections from Beijing, which considers the island part of its territory. So, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. We know that Pelosi is intending to visit at this point. Taiwan immediately responded and said they're ready to bury invading enemies. This is not typical banter. It's not. And let me continue on through my report here, and you'll see confirmation of that. But here it says China's Eastern Theater Command has issued a strong warning to the country's enemies amid ongoing tension over the potential visit of U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan. The command released a video on Monday as China marks the anniversary of its People's Liberation Army. The video, featuring footage of various drills and military units, urges the soldiers to stand by in battle formation, be ready to fight upon command, bury all invading enemies. The threat was further amplified by Yi Kao, a hawkish wolf warrior Chinese diplomat, who posted the message from the command on Twitter. The diplomat also reiterated the warning made last week by Beijing over Pelosi's rumored visit. FM warns U.S. again not to send Speaker Pelosi to Taiwan. Playing with fire will sure set yourself on fire, the diplomat tweeted. I'm sure the translation kind of made that sound goofy in English, but nonetheless, this isn't Xi Jinping saying that, and I want to make very clear of that, because I think a lot of people ran with stuff last week that really wasn't what was being said by the official individuals that we need to be concerned with saying things. I'm just saying. However, this situation has definitely raised a lot of eyebrows across the world, and this came out on Sputnik. Guterres says world facing a level of nuclear danger not seen since the peak of Cold War. Okay? I kind of took note on this, but, this is saying here, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned Monday that the world is grappling with a level of nuclear danger not seen since the peak of the Cold War. And I've been saying that for a while now, that we were absolutely at that level. The climate crisis, stark inequalities, conflicts and human rights violations, and the personal and economic devastation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic have put our world under greater stress than it has faced in our lifetimes, and it occurs at a time of nuclear danger not seen since the height of the Cold War, Guterres said at the 10th Review Conference of the Parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. Today, humanity is just one misunderstanding, one miscalculation away from nuclear annihilation, he added. The UN Secretary General also urged countries to work together to reinforce multilateral agreements on non-proliferation and disarmament. It means reinvigorating and fully resourcing our multilateral agreements and frameworks around disarmament and non-proliferation, including the important work of the International Atomic Energy Agency. So, I wanted you to see what he was saying. Now, granted, it was at a particular conference to deal with disarmament and non-proliferation. So, of course, he's going to be speaking in terms such as this. However, it was this next headline that really kind of turned my head. Putin says there can be no winners in nuclear war. It must never be unleashed. So let's read what it says here. Russian President Vladimir Putin said that there could be no winners in a nuclear war and it should never be unleashed, noting that Russia Federation consistently followed a letter and spirit of the Treaty of the Non-Proliferation or Nuclear Weapons, or of nuclear weapons. The head of the state sent a greeting to the participants and guests of the NPT conference. As a state party to the NPT and one of its depositories, Russia consistently follows the letter and spirit of the treaty. Our obligations under bilateral agreements with the United States on the reduction and limitation of relevant weapons have also been fully fulfilled. We proceed from the fact that there can be no winners in a nuclear war and it must never be unleashed, and we stand for equal and indivisible security for all members of the global community, the Russian leader said. Now, let me tell you what I am getting from this. I am getting from this that Putin might be concerned that actually a conflict between the U.S. and China might unleash that beast. I'm going to be honest with you. I personally think that Putin's personal concern in this matter is that China doesn't have the ability to be as reserved as what he is. Now, come on. I mean, let's call it how it is. Putin's good. Putin's good, and he's patient. He knows how to wait people out. He knows what he's doing. He's good. Putin is far from a hothead. I think that Xi Jinping and others involved in the Chinese leadership are most certainly hotheads. You mix that with what's known about their culture, what they feel about disrespect, looking bad, so to speak. I think Putin is showing a level of concern over this situation between the U.S. and China, of course involving Taiwan. But yet there's another headline that is another concern in and amongst all of this going on. Again, I will link all 5 of these articles below. Dire warning issued for global chip industry. It says here, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC, the world's largest and most valuable chip manufacturer, will become non-operable if a war breaks out between Taiwan and China. Chairman Mark Liu has warned in a video interview published by CNN on Monday. TSMC makes around, listen to this, 90% of advanced chips produced globally. That's a fairly big chunk, I would say. Nobody can control TSMC by force. You will render TSMC factories non-operable because these are such sophisticated manufacturing facilities. They depend on real-time connection with the outside world, with Europe, with Japan, with the U.S., from materials to chemicals to spare parts, Liu said. Liu also stressed that chip making will no longer be the most important thing we should be worried about if a conflict broke out. He noted, however, that China needs TSMC to continue working because our interruption will create an economic turmoil in China because suddenly their most advanced component supply would disappear in case of war. Therefore, Liu urges China to think twice. The war can only create problems on all three sides. The war brings no winners. Everybody is a loser, he said, referring to China, Taiwan, and the global semiconductor market. Liu also addressed the current conflict in Ukraine, saying that lessons should be learned from it, as the situation there has created a lose-lose-lose scenario for the Western world, Russia, and Ukraine. He said China and Taiwan should avoid conflict so that the engine of the world economy can continue humming. So, I'm telling you, there's a lot of individuals that are really taking a step back and looking at this situation and saying, whoa, hold up. And it's because of the particular individuals that are taking that step back and because of the things that they are saying. We might want to keep an eye on this. I'll stand behind what I've been saying, that it would be an extremely dumb move for China to decide to kick off the shindig by, I don't know, knocking Pelosi's plane out of the air or whatever. If they just follow with jet fighters and stuff like that, that's banter. That's whatever. Right? We're in their area of operation. So be it. I don't really think that they're necessarily going to do something to Pelosi. At the same time, I couldn't tell you that the U.S. wouldn't false flag Pelosi. That's certainly something to consider. Gulf of Tonkin, anyone? We'll see. I'll put the links below. Keep them heads on a swivel. I've never discouraged anyone from being prepared. Make sure you've got things sewn up. Make sure you've got things ready. Just do the things, right? Don't panic. Do not panic. Have a feeling it's going to be a busy day. Hopefully it's not as dark as it goes on. Because, man, I'm telling you, this stuff's coming out quick. Anyway, hope you have a good day. Hope to see you tonight for the live show at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Shalom.